Hey Internet, it's me. And my buddy Bishop. Not from part of the review, it's more on Hold'em Snake. So tonight's movie was Witches in the Woods. And I have to say, this one really actually felt like a horror movie. There's been a few so far that I don't know, just didn't quite feel right. Like it didn't feel like horror. You know, things were a little I don't know, too sedated. It was more drama-y than horror-y, but this one definitely felt like horror. Although one thing I noticed, this is just a nitpick, it has nothing to do with the movie as a whole, but in the beginning, there's a scene where the camera is stationary in the car, and it's rotating through the car, and you're seeing all the characters talking and interacting, and as the camera's turning, you know, each person that's on camera is talking. And at one point, it's on this girl in the middle row, or I think maybe it was the guy in the middle row, and he says something, and then the camera keeps panning, and another girl talks, another girl talks, another guy talks. Then it gets to a final guy, he waits a beat, and then he has like a comeback joke to something the guy in the middle row said like 5 people ago. So between the other people saying things since then, and his weird little pause as the camera got to him, it was really dumb. Like you know how when you get in like a confrontation with someone or someone insults you or just, you know, something happens and you just walk away from it and then later on you think about that conversation and in your head you're like, oh, I should have said this. Well, this scene would be like if you have that internal conversation, but then call the person up to say the thing you just thought about an hour later. Like, no, that's really dumb. So in that one scene that was very stupid, I didn't like that. The timing of his joke or comeback or whatever you want to call it was just really stupid. It didn't play well. But other than that, I actually thought the rest of the movie was pretty solid. It's a good psychological thriller. You know, these kids go out on like a snowboarding trip, ski trip, whatever. You don't see all their luggage, and there's like 7 of them, so how it all fit in the back of this one truck with all 3 rows of seating full, I have no idea. But, you know, we'll just pretend that wasn't the case, and everything will be fine. But other than that, like, you know, they're going, and they think they're going to take a shortcut to get there, and then they get lost, and the truck goes off the road, and it's stuck in the snow, and then it's broken, and now they're all stranded. And as panic starts to set in and time gets longer and they're out here longer, you know, they start to like bicker and like, you know, just dig at each other and then people start dying. And, you know, earlier on in the movie, someone read a pamphlet about how, you know, there were witches in the area or people that were accused of being witches in the area. And so, what are you doing? So this whole time you start to wonder, you know, is there actually witches, or are they just going a little crazy? Like, what's the deal? What's really going to cause the issues and happen in this movie? And as it goes on, like, you keep having that back and forth for most of the movie. You know, you keep wondering, like, is this really happening, or is there witches? Like, is there some other force here that's, can you just not, that's causing all these issues? And I don't know, it was kind of decent to watch. It was a good psychological thriller. There were some good moments of tension. There were good moments where with the characters you didn't know like which way it was going to go or what was going to happen with that character. Some of the deaths were actually, you know, pretty good. Like not overly gruesome, but definitely graphic enough to give you a quick little ooh. Like it was well done. Also, I've shot a movie in the snow before. I know how much that sucks. So these actors get all the credit for me because shooting in the snow was awful. There's always multiple takes. So when you're in the snow, it's not just for, you know, the 2-minute scene that you shoot. It's for the setup to the scene, the rehearsal, the blocking, and then the however many takes. You're in that snow for like an hour or two. So yeah, I don't envy these actors for having to go through all that shit, because it's awful. But overall, I really did kind of enjoy the movie, you know? It's not like the best film I've ever seen. There were no scenes that were like just really stand out as like, iconic or amazing or anything like that. Like it's not going to change your opinion on cinema, but it was an entertaining watch. They did a good job. I definitely wanted to see what was going to happen next the whole time. Um, the person that ended up being the final person, because every horror movie has a final person. Um, Maybe not the one I expected it would have been, and the ending was pretty decent. Like I like how it all unfolded, and they left themselves an open for a sequel because they always do. Um, and yeah, I don't know. Overall, it was a fun time. I enjoyed it. It was worth watching. If anyone's in the mood to watch a good like just psychological thriller, it's a good one. I'd say give it a go. My snake is choking me to death. Um, but yeah, I don't know. That's all I really got with this one. I don't want to give everything away, but it was worthwhile. It was a good one, definitely enjoyable, and I would recommend it. So there you go. This is one of the few so far this month that I can definitely say I do recommend go watch this one. It's a good film.